I would like to welcome all of you, and especially any friends or family we have that might be watching this as we're live streaming this. So welcome to the families. We're so sad that you can't be with us today, but hope you enjoy this very special ceremony. I also want to thank our friends at Jones Walker that are with us today, who sponsored this wonderful ceremony. So thank you so much for joining us and being our sponsor. It is a great honor and privilege that I get to present the class, the University of Mississippi class of 2024 to you. For those joining us, my name is Susan Duncan, and I'm the Dean of the Law School. Joining me today in this really joyful event are Randy Pierce. He's a former Supreme Court Justice and current Director of Judicial College, and the Senior Associate Dean, Ben Cooper. For you that are watching, I want you to know that we have 182 incoming students. They come from 29 states, and I know you all already heard me say this, but your families might not know. They come from Alabama, Arizona, California, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, North Carolina, New Jersey, Nevada, New York, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, Wyoming, and of course, the great state of Mississippi. They have 98 different majors, and they come from 76 different undergraduate institutions. As I told the class on Wednesday, they have some very interesting classmates. Some are yoga instructors, some are parents, one's a stand-up comedian. There's proud members of the LGBTQ community, teachers, consultants, accountants, and 6 veterans. 5 of them came through for the Ole Miss 3+3 program. 28 are first-generation college students, and 50 are first-generation professional students. So we have a wonderful, diverse class. I have met many of these 1Ls in the last few days, and I can vouch for their intelligence and enthusiasm. We are proud to have them be part of our close-knit family here at Ole Miss, and I am very optimistic they are going to contribute immediately to our culture of service and success. And did I mention how smart they are? After all, they picked the very best law school in the country. These students chose a law school that purposefully maintains a small faculty to student ratio so that they get the best experience during their time here. They chose a school with a business law program named top in the country by the National Jurist. They chose a school that advanced 13 points in the US News and World Rankings into the top 100, one of the biggest gains of any law school in the country. They chose a school that's increasing the GPA and LSAT scores in every quartile. They chose a school that has improved first-time bar takers by 20% in just 2 years. They chose a school that's number 13 on the nation's list of schools out of 200 who set the highest percentage of the class of 2020 to federal clerkships. 2 clients this past year were exonerated with our Innocence Project. No school can say that in the country. You've chosen a school that's named the top 25 in the nation in practical training, and a school with 3 advocacy boards who have won multiple national championships in the last decade. So we need Coach Kippen not to worry about those national championships. You law students are going to bring home the national championships this year. And we do all this being a best value school. We're one of the most economical schools you could go to in the whole country, which I'm very, very proud of. Our students out of 200 law schools last year was ranked 178 as the least indebtedness. So that's really important. You're getting this world-class education, but you're not paying $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. So very proud of that. You have a school that has the most devoted staff who cares about you deeply. Our faculty are committed to excellence in service, skills, and scholarship. Ole Miss faculty, they incorporate skills into their classes to make sure that you are practice ready. They use the best practices for adult learners, and they work on cutting edge research projects. They are considered experts in their field. And you're going to see them regularly quoted in the New York Times, Forbes, the Washington Post, just to name a few. We have faculty working with national and local agencies to find solutions to challenges that face society and our communities. These professors also win all types of awards. Just to name a few, in the last year, Stephanie Otts was designated a 2020 Change Agent by the Office of Research for her work over at the Mississippi Law Research Institute. Yvette Butler, so some of you all saw her on Wednesday. She was named an ISOM Fellow on campus for the Sarah ISOM Center for Women and Gender Studies. Chris Simpson and the University of Mississippi Pro Bono Initiative received the Pro Bono Award from the Mississippi Volunteer Lawyers Project. Tucker Carrington and our own Professor Pierce received the highest service award at the university. They only give one for faculty, one for staff. I nominated one faculty and one staff, and we swept it this year with them winning both. Also, Justice Pierce received the 2020 Chief Justice Award from the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Mississippi for all his hard work with the COVID and everything else he does for the state. But I want you to know that these faculty members, they're not just superstars in their respective fields, but they're going to be your mentors and your guides. They are fully committed to seeing you reach your full potential, and they want to make sure that you're ready for wherever life is going to take you. You will assist them in their projects. You will gain skills and experience through their classes, and you're going to form lifelong friendships with these future colleagues of yours. And you know, we need smart minds to help solve these complex problems of today's world. Every major issue in our society, from civil rights to business transactions, is touched by the law. If we don't continue to produce bright, competent lawyers, our country and our society will suffer. Kelly Testy, a friend of mine and past dean of the University of Washington School of Law, and she is now the executive director of the LSAC, which you all took the LSAT, so you know what organization she's part of. When she was president of our Association of American Law Schools, her theme was why law matters. And I love this quote she gave when we were at that conference. She said, "Law is often seen too narrowly, in my view, as only a system of dispute resolution, rather than in its broader role of creating what I call the ecosystem for human flourishing. I suppose that in this broader sense, law is like the air we breathe, perhaps noted most by its absence rather than by its presence. But we can no more live healthy lives without the rule of law in this world than we can live without air. And waiting to appreciate its vital role until we are choking and grasping is not a good strategy." At the University of Mississippi School of Law, we totally understand this. And so we produce leaders who help our communities flourish. Our law school prioritizes service to our community through its amazing clinics and institutes. Our clinics represent prisoners who have wrongful conviction claims, children who are abused and neglected, families and individuals who are facing eviction and foreclosure, the elderly who need assistance. And our students are strong advocates for human rights and social justice. Our law students don't just learn legal doctrine, but you are going to put into practice what you are learning in your classrooms. This training in both doctrine and skills has produced many leaders in Mississippi and across this great nation. By joining your family at Ole Miss, you're following an impressive group of alums who have walked these halls and two other hallways on the university's campus. We've produced general counsels of Fortune 500 companies, state Supreme Court justices, US senators, attorneys who have litigated at the Supreme Court, United States Supreme Court law clerks, managing partners of law firms, both large and small, prosecutors, public defenders, legal aid attorneys, and business owners. Our alums are the leaders of all these different fields. I hope that you will see with the Ole Miss degree, you can do anything you want to do. Believe me, 33 years ago, which makes me seem so old, I cannot even believe I'm saying this, but 33 years ago, I was sitting right where you are. And in my wildest dreams, I never thought that one day I would be a dean of a law school and dean of 2 law schools. Never, if you would have told me that when I was where you are. So I am fully committed to ensuring your success and the success of our law school. I look forward to the wonderful things that are ahead of you to do with this degree, and I know that you will be fully prepared for whatever path you ultimately choose. And I sincerely hope and pray that you will use this degree to do something good. Remember yesterday I told you, or 2 days ago, that earning this degree is a privilege, and with it comes great responsibility. I want to share something that I heard, and I think it's a great way for us to think about our responsibility as lawyers. I'm Irish. My maiden name is Hanley, so I'm Irish. And the Irish tell this great story of a man who arrives at the gates of heaven and he has to be let in. And St. Peter says, of course, but show me your scars. I want to see your scars. And the man says, I have no scars. And St. Peter says, oh no, of course you have scars. Let me see the scars you have. And the man's like, I don't know what you're talking about, St. Peter. I have no scars. He's like, no, I'm sure you do. No, I don't. So St. Peter finally said, what a pity. Was there nothing worth fighting for? I hope you'll fight for your clients, for people who need a voice, for the communities you live in, for your families, and for our profession. I hope you will have lots of scars when you reflect back on your wonderful career that all started this week. But before I conclude my remarks, I want to thank all your friends and your families. Although they're not with us today, they're watching or thinking about you, I know. And I know they are one of the reasons all of you are here. Their support has been an integral part of your success, and they will need to give you continued support as you face these new challenges. I want them to keep telling you how much they believe in you. I want them to be there when you need a shoulder to cry on and be patient when you need to study. Just having them with us in their thoughts or watching this shows me how proud they are of you. I hate that they're not here because you can just see it on their faces. They're so proud of you all. And I want to thank them for helping you all realize your dream. So students, we want your supporters to know how much you appreciate them. Can we give them a big round of applause so they know? At this time, I'd like to introduce Randy Pierce. Randy is the director of the Mississippi Judicial College that trains every judge in the state. He previously served on the Mississippi Supreme Court and as a chancellor for the 16th Chancery Court District. He also is a member of the House of Representatives for Mississippi. Randy received his Juris Doctor from this great law school where he served as what was now we call the SBA president. So he was the president of SBA. He has an undergraduate degree in accounting and a master's degree in business administration from the University of Southern Mississippi. He also is a certified CPA. While a member of the Mississippi Supreme Court, Randy served as co-chair of the Supreme Court's Commission on Children's Justice. He also served as the chair of the Rules Committee on the Legal Profession. He's a frequent speaker at continuing legal education seminars, and he has served as adjunct professor at Southern Mississippi College and our own school. He's a member of the Mississippi Bar, the American Bar Association, the Mississippi Society of Certified Public Accountants, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. But all those, degrees and accolades doesn't describe what this person is. He is one of our best recruiters. He is one of the best friends of the students. and will help you in every way he can. I've never met a more gracious human being in my life. Let me please introduce you to my colleague and my friend, Randy Pierce.
Good afternoon. After hearing the Dean's remarks, I want to come with you. I want to be a 1L law student all over again. For you family members that are watching, we're masked up. Come Monday, we'll be protecting your students and your family members. We will be lecturing in masks. The students are masked up. So we're going to do what we can to navigate these waters and keep each other safe. So we're going to assume we're in class and continue with our mask, even those of us that are speaking today. But I want to congratulate and welcome all of you. When the Dean was reading those statistics, and by the way, there are 10 of you, some in this group and probably some in the other, that I get to serve as an advisor for. I've met with that group on earlier in the week. Yesterday or this morning, I got to speak to several of you in my breakout session for the professionalism ceremony. And man, I just can't wait to meet all of you in person. But 182 students, 76 undergraduate institutions, 29 states, as the Dean referred to, large cities, small towns, and even communities like where I grew up that don't have a zip code or a red light. You are all here, and you're forever going to be linked together as 1Ls, the year that started in the fall of 21. And by the way, in less than 3 calendar years, you're going to be graduates of this institution and be sitting before the bar and waiting on those passing bar results by this time. So we're honored to have you here, but before I continue, I want to thank this lady, Dean Duncan, and Pam and her team for the outstanding job. Brittany in the back and Gigi somewhere around here, Bet and Sharon from admissions and all the rest of the faculty and staff here at the law school, because I know you also want to show your appreciation to them. What a great job they've done for you at orientation. So give them a round of applause. I know the Dean had addressed the family, your family members that are watching, and so I'm going to speak to them just a moment. But thank you for loaning us your loved ones. Thank you for giving us the opportunity, and thank you for helping them to get to this place. Not one student here today, not one of you would be here, but for those people that have helped you along the way throughout your life. As part of the Ole Miss Law School family, for those loved ones that are watching, this Dean, this faculty, the staff here, we are going to do our very best to make your student, your family, your child, your spouse, your family member, your loved one, the best lawyer that she or he can be. And so that's our commitment to you. As the Dean said, my day job is to be the director of the Judicial College here on campus, but also I get to teach a class this semester. I got to take over teaching a class that was taught by one of my heroes, my law professor, Professor Guff Abbott. And I'll mention him again in a little bit. But I also had the privilege to teach you. In second year and third year, I'll have some of you in my classes, and I can't wait. I can't wait till Tuesday when 69 students walk in the door and I get to have fun with them for about 3 months and to teach them and us have a learning experience together when it comes to the practice of law. I believe this is my 5th professionalism oath ceremony since I joined the Ole Miss Law School team. I have shared with other incoming students the 2 factors that helped me to succeed, not only in law school, but in life. And one thing I remember being in the middle of law school, I was a student just like you. I'm from a little town called Lakesville. Where's Cassidy? Cassidy's in here somewhere. There she is. She's from my hometown. I finished high school with her daddy. And her mom was a couple years younger than me. But I'm from a small town. I was up here as a student of law and learning contracts and torts and all that. And I got a call from back home, and some folks, the superintendent of education and another employee at the school district wanted me to call the state representative for our area to ask him to vote for an education bill. I did, and it didn't go well. And the representative voted against it. And while I was a student, I said, I'm going to run against him as soon as I can. So I graduated in 97 and 99. I challenged him and won that election. I decided to do that while I was a student here at Ole Miss, and you will too. You will too. But this is my 5th one. As I said before, I've shared these 2 factors, and I'm going to share it again. but I want to make you an offer first. If you find yourself in a place of discouragement, maybe you feel a little bit overwhelmed, or perhaps there are some things going on in your life or in your family's life that you need someone to listen to. You go to the Ole Miss faculty staff, you click on Randy Pierce, go to my profile, and you shoot me an email. I'll meet with you in my office. I make that offer to every class. In every class, I always have 1 or 2 students that need, you're not even expecting it, something happens. It knocks you off balance. You need somebody to bounce things off of. I'll be there for you. But not only me, Ben Cooper, Susan Duncan, all the other members of the faculty staff will be here. But that's our offer. So please reach out to us if you have incidences that you feel like you need some encouragement, because that's important. It was important for me in my life to have people that stood in the gap for me along the way and encouraged me. So guess what? You belong here. I remember coming to law school. I was 29 when I started, but I was intimidated. I was looking at all these people and I assumed they were smarter than me. And they probably were, but I had this fear of failure. Can I do this? And I'm here to tell you, you can. And the reason I know you can is because the admissions faculty and staff here have vetted you. You've been accepted here. You've got what it takes to succeed. So don't get discouraged. Always go back to that point when you got that acceptance letter or email. You've been vetted, and so you belong here. But we want to help you succeed. So here are my 2 nuggets of advice. And I want to remind us all that we're writing our stories. My legal career began at orientation day a few days ago. Your legal career has started. Each day we decide what goes on the page that we are writing, the book that we're writing in our lives. Those pages add up over time, and we'll look back and remember this day. You will. My friend from Jones Walker is going to mention something about that a little later. You're going to remember your first law school class professors, those 1L professors. John Bradley for contracts for me, who's retired now. Guff Abbott, who taught me real property. I'm now taking his place in the class that he taught. Robert Kayad taught me torts. This building's named after him, went on to be chancellor of this university. And there was a brand new professor, a lot of energy, smiled a lot, named John Zarnitsky, taught me civil procedure. Now he's recently left us to go to be a dean at another law school. I've never forgotten those 1L professors, and you won't either. And I know those professors here, and those professors want you to succeed, and they're going to help you to succeed. And don't be bashful to reach out to them. So back to the advice. 2 things, and it's pretty simple. My kids hear this all the time. First of all, there is no secret to success in law school. You ever heard somebody said, I'm going to give you the secret to success? There is no secret. There really isn't. First, work hard. You just got to work hard. The tortoise, I don't care how many times you read that fable, the tortoise beats the hare every time. Read for class. Show up for class. Involve yourself in class discussions. Be an active listener. And prepare your own outlines. How many of you have already got an outline? Anybody? There's a couple hands go to. You're gonna learn. You'll do that little show, that little shy hand. Own it. That's good. You got an outline. But let me tell you, and you're going to get these outlines to help you study for contracts, and property, and so forth. Prepare your own. When I was a first-year law student, I had found an upper-level classmate that gave me an outline to go by. And I had it over here on the side, but I prepared my own. And then, as I moved through the semester, other students would come to me and say, my students in my class, in my section, can I look at your outline? I said, not only can you look at it, you can have it. You can go copy it. And I don't know how many had my outline, but several in my own class had what I was studying. The secret, see, wasn't in the copy. It was in the preparation of the outline. So don't run the risk of getting somebody that maybe amateur or scored the highest grade in that class the year before and think that that outline that you can get of hers is the secret to success. It will help, but the secret is preparing your own and doing the work yourself. Stephen King said, talent is cheaper than table salt. What separates the talented individual from the successful one is a lot of hard work. There simply is no substitute for hard work. My kids know that I use a phrase all the time, grinders win. They just do. Next, and this may surprise you a little bit, but show kindness. Be kind. Since my own children, as I said before, were big enough to understand, I've told them, you got to work hard in this life and you need to be kind to people. Kind to the people you meet, even the people that are rude to you. Show them some kindness. Take time to get to know your classmates. Take time to know where they're from. If a classmate is having a tough time, lend them a helping hand. I believe, and I firmly believe, and I believe my life has benefited from these two nuggets of advice, is if you work hard and show kindness, success will be nearby. I don't know any other way to say it, but for me, getting elected to the legislature 2 years out of law school, becoming a judge 7 years out of law school, getting on the Supreme Court 11 years out of law school, those two things, working hard and just being kind to people. As Maya Angelou said, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. You are at an exciting time in your life. You are starting a journey that will change your life. And the beautiful thing about the education that you are about to receive is that it will allow you to enter, in my opinion, one of the world's greatest professions. That is becoming a lawyer. And when you become a lawyer, you will become an advocate for others. You will represent individuals. You will represent companies. You will represent governments. You will be their voices in the courtroom, in the court system. I read a quote that said, quote, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others. Students, your law career has begun. You have started developing your legal reputation already. This education you're about to receive, and we can't wait to be at your graduation along with your loved ones that are watching. And then when you're sworn into the practice of law, whether it's in this state, and I hope you stay with us, but if you go to wherever you're sworn into the practice of law, man, that degree, this profession can open doors beyond your wildest dreams. And for you first generation professional students and first generation college students, that's me. Don't ever think you don't belong here and you're not ready. You are, or you wouldn't be here. The opportunities that you're going to have are important, but don't ever forget, this profession is one that requires honor, integrity, a strong work ethic, and kindness. And I'll leave with this quote before we transition to the to oath, and I'm going to give you an oath in a minute. I had a tax professor at Southern Miss named Paul Torres. He recently passed away, and I'm sitting in his class, and I wasn't one of those students that would go visit the professors. I just wasn't. I wish I was, but I never forgot what those professors said. And he said to me, us as a class one day, he said, you're about to be CPAs. You're going to have a good career, and the career can open doors and provide for your family well. But always remember this, choose to sleep well versus to eat well. In other words, don't sacrifice your integrity to have nicer things and to have a bigger paycheck. Choose to sleep well versus choosing to eat well. And I've never forgotten that. Dean, I think I'll swear him in. What do you think? All right, let's do this. Y'all ready to get sworn in and ready to get this thing going? All right, I want you to stand for me. What we're going to do is, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand, and I'm going to read it, and then you're going to repeat after me, okay? I think when you say the words yourself, they just mean more. So instead of me reading it and you're saying I do, you're going to raise your right hand, and we're going to go through this oath together, okay? Let's do it. Raise your right hand, please. As I begin the study of law at the University of Mississippi School of Law. I, and then state your name, gratefully acknowledge the privilege inherent in becoming a lawyer and willingly accept the responsibilities that must accompany those privileges from this day forward. I promise to do my utmost to live up to the high ideals of my chosen profession. I will remember that my actions reflect not only upon myself, but upon the University of Mississippi School of Law and the legal profession. I vow to be a person of principle, truth, compassion, strength, and courage. At all times, I will conduct myself with dignity and civility, showing kindness and respect toward my classmates, teachers, and all persons. I have read the University of Mississippi School of Law Honor Code, and I hereby commit that I will conduct my life in accordance with the values and standards expressed therein. This pledge I take freely and upon my honor. Congratulations. All right, you may be seated. And we're now about to transition into our pinning ceremony. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to take one row at a time, starting with the first row. And Brittany's up here to make sure that, that you or I don't mess this up, right? So we're going to start with the front row, and we're going to come this way. You're going to sign, then you're going to get your pen, and then we're going to return to your seat, okay? So we'll start now, Brittany. All right, let's do it. The next row will come after they are seated. For our parents and loved ones watching, they're signing their oath and receiving their law school pin. Thank you, students. Brittany, if you'll come up, she's going to close us out because guess what? We've got half of the class, your colleagues, waiting to come in as well. So y'all got the advantage of going first. Brittany.
Thank you, Justice Pierce. For those watching on live stream, my name is Brittany Barbie. I am the Assistant Dean for Student Affairs here at the law school. Class of 2024, congratulations on beginning your professional journey. At this time, I would like to announce our sponsor for this professionalism ceremony, as well as the reception. It is law firm Jones Walker, and we have a few representatives here with us today. John Fletcher, a partner at the law firm, will provide remarks.
Y'all feel different? Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big step. Thanks for letting us be here on behalf of Jones Walker and to sponsor this. My name is John Fletcher. With me is Christina Johnson, my partner. We're both in the Jackson office of Jones Walker. Christina's a bankruptcy lawyer. I'm a tax guy. I tell you, coming back here, it was a great invitation. It brings back a flood of memories. I got to digging around the other day through my closet. I don't know if any of you have ever seen one of these, but this is what we used to, these date books are what we used to do we used them to keep track of, assignments and things like that. Christina and I both have kids here at Ole Miss, and I showed my boys a picture of it. They said Fred Flintstone wants his date book back. But I tell you what, I opened it up though. This is from my first year, and lo and behold, exactly 30 years ago yesterday, I was in your shoes, taking the oath and starting off my legal career, and it kind of brought back this flood of memories. And I started thumbing through this, and look at those first assignments. Read Penoyer versus Neff, read International Shoe, and stuff like that. So you'll get real familiar with those. But it's funny. It's like once I got into like week 2, I started seeing these things in the margins. Just Barry 2, 3, 4, such and such, and Clark. And I started going through here, and I realized this is when I started meeting some of the best friends that I've got in life. I'm sure they told you the story. Look to your left, look to your right. You've probably all heard that. And we had, Dean Shipley told us that, he's like, look to your left and right, it'll be a different story at Christmas. I got a little different take on it. I'm gonna tell you, look to your left and look to your right at the people you're sitting next to. You're about to start making some of the best friends in your life. They're not only gonna be colleagues of yours, there's a good chance some of you, you may end up standing in each other's weddings. When you get to our age, you may be coming back and going to their kids' weddings. That's kind of where we are. But I went through and I started looking at those assignments, and I remember all the hard work it was, but also had a flood of memories of the good times. I hope you make time in between all the work to have fun. Have a good time here, because it's going to be 3 great years. You're going to look back and you're going to have very fond memories of it. It was for me, and it gave me excuse when I read that, start calling some of my buddies, and we couldn't even remember, none of us could even remember what section we were in. But we started talking about all of our professors and the stories and laughing about that, and things we did in class, things we did out of class. I hope every one of you has as great a time here as we did. On behalf of Jones Walker, thank you for letting us come and be a sponsor. I congratulate you. I wish you the best. And I look forward to meeting you at the reception out here and visiting with as many of you as can. Thanks a lot.
For those watching on live stream, we're running a few minutes behind. This is the end of section 1 ceremony. Section 2 will begin momentarily. Section 1, congratulations. Please make your way into the atrium. Have your composite photos taken, and your reception will start around 2:15.